face you.
Welcome to the Bushido Gang. What's up, guys? It's Attack on Samurai, and welcome to my Week 5 match of the Smogon Tour. So for this week, we're gonna be doing or for this week it's Sun and Moon. So gonna be the Gen 7 meta. So I managed to get pretty far this time, so I went to record all my matches for it. So before we get started, make sure you guys have a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord Bushido Gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also follow me on my Pokemon, and check out my Smogon profile. All those things will be down in the description. Trying to get to 150 subs. Hopefully, when I reach 150 subs, I will do a rap vid of a Pokemon of your choosing, kind of like the Dracolich vid I do on my channel. But anyways, this is game 1. So game 1, I'm playing against Lost in the City. He had a very weird looking trick room team, so when I played him, I was very cautious of what was going on. I mean, I was very cautious. I was just like, what is this? But I managed to play it out, so you guys are gonna see. I have this really cool looking mega arrow scheme that I wanted to use for the first game. So yeah, it didn't really do well the last time because of some stuff that didn't work out. But you're gonna see it actually did decently well. So without further ado, let's dive in. So turn 1, I lead with Torn as he leads with Crest. So I led Torn because looking at his team, Torn pretty much can get rid of a mental herb and pretty much stop Crest from doing too much. Pretty much, and just knock it off. Get a little bit of chip on it, and also Hurricane was really strong against him anyway. So that's why I made the play I did in this leg with it. So I do knock off Crest's lefties. So it is gaining more recovery. He can trip him now, and I expect him to go cam. So what I do is I go for the U-turn. And I bring in Lottie because I knew he'd go for because I'm trying to scout for the Earth Power or the Fire move. He goes in drain on my Psychic. I was okay with that. Bring in Dex as he goes for the U-turn. So on the U-turn, he's gonna bring Cam. Actually, he brings in Gear this time. I'm actually go for the Skull, or actually no, I switch out and go in the U-turn to see what else to do. But he just goes for the Volt Switch. So he's running Volt Switch on Trick Room, which isn't really a thing. Usually you don't run that, but he brings in the Volcanion and goes for the Steam Eruption, doing a lot, which tells me that this might be specs on that. So Magirna comes in, I go for a Toxic as he switches into it. So yeah, he pretty much catches me on that. He recovers again, he goes for the Trick Room again, and now I bring in Heatran, expecting him to go for something else, but he keeps going Volt Switch. My Heatran is actually pretty speed, so I'm able to take hits pretty well. The Cam comes in, and I go into Lottie on the Earth. Actually, goes for the Flamethrower right there. On my Heatran, which is really weird. Then he goes for HP Ice. So he's pretty much trying to play me, trying to catch me on my plays as I keep trying to pivot around this Cam, because Cam is actually a threat. So now I actually catch him on the Flamethrower, and now what I can do is go for an Earth Power, but he pretty much catches that and goes for the Crest. So he does catch me right there, but I didn't really mind that. So what I do is I go for my Rocks, so I want to make sure that I chip his team down as much as possible with the Rocks. So he Lunar Dances, and I'm just like, yo, okay. So he Lunar Dances and brings in the Cam. Cam being in here is kind of a play for me to switch out. So he goes for the Earth Power as I bring in Lottie. This time I go in the Pex on the Flamethrower or whatever else he go for. He does go for the HP Ice again. So I catch him on the HP Ice this time. Go in the Arrow as I expect him to do it again. So he goes for the Earth Power there, and I'm just like, alright, perfect. So now what I'm going to do is actually go for the Stone Edge. And I'm just like, yo, if I land this, it's very lit. But unfortunately, the game said, no, bro, you're going to miss that one. So I missed that one, but I have Fire Fang. So this still does a good chunk of the Celebi. You go Trick him again, and goes for the Giga Drain, doing quite a bit to me. So this is a very offensive Celebi. I am able to bring him down to 3. So as long as I land my next one, then I think Arrow is pretty much set. But unfortunately, the game said, nah, man, you're gonna miss 2 of them. So I don't kill the Celebi, which is okay. I can still keep it around for later. So, cause it's gonna be important later on anyway. So I bring in Heatran on the Psychic, and I go Bulu right now. Going Bulu just to see if he go Gren, which I do expect him to go for the Gren. Which I did expect him to go Gren. So he is going to go for the Gunk Shot. I'm again revealing that he's Protean. Oh, actually, he already revealed it. I just forgot to mention that, but yeah. He goes for the U-turn there. and on U-turn he is gonna bring in the Magearna, and I'm just gonna go for a skull just to try and get a burn on this Magearna, because this Magearna has been very annoying throughout the remainder of this match. So it's like turn 27 now. I finally get the burn right here, which is what I needed to continue to pressure him. So now he gets to Trick Room up, and I pretty much have no reason to switch out because Pex is really offensive against him. Unfortunately, I'm faster than his Magearna and Trick Room, so I don't know why, but I guess I am. So so yeah, I'm gonna have to switch here on Flamethrower or Earth Power. So I sacked my Lottie, which, I mean, Lottie did okay. It got the damage on the cam, but it didn't really matter afterward. So he goes Flamethrower on my Torn Switch, and I'm just like, okay. So now I have to go into something else. So I go Heat Train now, again, because I was okay with him going for Flamethrower again, expecting him to do it anyway. Or in case he went for HPS, because I would have caught anyway with Heat Train. So I'm able to kill the Celebi there. Gren can come in here, and I'm just like, okay, is this thing going to go for a water move or go for low kick? And he is a fully physical Greninja. So I was just like, alright, cool. Very cool. So I go Heat Train here, expecting him to U-turn, which he did. I kind of thought he'd do something else, but he brings in Cam Rope, and I'm just like, why would he bring in Cam like that? So I go for the Earth Power, and unfortunately I don't kill the Cam Rope, because my Heat Train is actually pretty Spadef, so it doesn't have that much investment. So I had to hope Arrow can land this Ice Fang, which it did land. And now Magearna comes in here, and I have to go Pex right now to try and wear this Magearna down as much as possible. So goes for the Scald again. Scald's not doing that much. He goes for the Volt Switch. Volt Switch is doing quite a bit to me, as my Pex isn't really that Spadef, but still I had to bring it in. This is my only answer to the Magearna pretty much. So, because I wasn't sure what kind of Magearna he was anyway. I tossed the Volcanion. Goes for the Steam Eruption. Misses right there. The Steam Eruption did so much though. So if he burned me, which I think he does on this one. I think he burns me on this one or the next one. But the burn doesn't really matter anyway. But getting the Toxic off on that Volcanion was the most important thing. But yeah, he does burn me here. But Pex is just, Pex does what Pex does. It's just a fat mon that will always live whatever hit you go for. So I'm pretty much just gonna keep Pex around just to, again, keep it around, because that's just what this mon does. So he goes for Dazzler then, goes for the Dazzling Gleam, and I'm just like, okay. So I just keep scalding, seeing what else he goes for. And I pretty much have no reason to switch out, because once I toss the Greninja, then the game's pretty much over. So yeah, pretty boring ending, I'm not gonna lie, but I really wanted to get this win. So, because I was just like, man, this guy's running a very interesting looking team. I don't want to lose to it. So, so yeah, he goes for the, I don't know what that was. That might have been like HP Grass, but that's not gonna kill me. And Pex is just gonna live for another day, as he usually does. Like, what do you expect from this mon? So I just called the Magearna. Actually, I go for the Taunting, I think I go for Taunting on this play, or I go for it on the next play, because he's going to U-turn here. Okay, no, so I did go for the Scald. Either kind of status on Graham would have been good here, but he does go for the U-turn right there. It's going to bring me down a little bit, but not too much, because again, it's just Pex. Pex is a fat mon. So I recover right here, as he's going to go for the Volt Switch again. And on the Volt Switch, I do catch his Grin and go for the Taunting. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty much dead Greninja at this point, because like I said, his Grin can't do anything to me. And yeah, so that is going to be game one pretty much, because like I said, he can't touch me that well, and he's pretty much like mixed choice rough Grin. So I can Scald that Magearna, and then that's going to be that. So yeah, he's not doing too much. He can't really do much at this point. So just Scald him down, let the Toxic do his thing, and that is going to be the game. I don't really like winning with Pex like this, because that's just what Pex does, but still, I really hate winning with Pex like this. But this is going to be the game, and that's GG for game one. So yeah, now game two. Ooh, game two is actually kind of spicy. I'm not even going to lie to you. Game two is kind of spicy. But I'm going to dive into game two in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so here is here is game 2. So game 2, I'm fighting this guy named Luther. Guy, girl, I don't know. But anyways, I'm fighting this person named Luther. Or Luthier, I don't know. But this was a really solid game right here. Now my team is, you know, a pretty standard looking Mega Heracross team, but let me tell you about Mega Heracross. Since mid Gen 7, Mega Heracross was putting in mad, and I mean mad work. It's such a good mod, honestly. Yeah, you're gonna see right here, it does what it always does. It does what it always does. It breaks holes in teams. So let me show you real quick. So turn 1, I'm gonna lead with Lando as my opponent leads with the Rotom. So I led with Lando because Lando is, you know, literally the best lead you could have against this team. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was debating on either leading with Lando or even leading Ferrothorn, because actually not even Lando. I was considering leading Lando. I was considering to lead Lando or to lead Heatran, because Heatran also looked really good against this team anyway, because I could just kind of Earth Power through him a little bit. I could also trap the Tangrowth as well if it's not running Earthquake. So there was a lot that Heatran could have done here as well, but I decided to just lead Lando instead in case he wanted to lead Medi, because Medi is also a pretty strong mon against my team. So he leads Rotom. I go for the U-turn, and that did a lot. So that told me that his Rotom might be more offensive. So he gets the burn on my Ferrothorn, but I'm like, it's okay, it's all good. So he Volt Switches there as I go for rocks on the switch-in. So he's going to bring in his Heatran here, and I'm expecting him to go for rocks of his own or go for a fire move, so I go Heatran instead to scout, as he does go for the rocks right here. So now he goes into Rotom, and I believe I went for the Earth Power. Yeah, I do go for the Earth Power. So he's making the right plays, you know, like checking out for whatever I go for. So he actually went for the Pain Split there on my switch-in, expecting to switch out, but I was just like, nah, I'm not switching, bro, I'm not switching. So I get the Toxic on the Rotom, which is going to play a pivotal role later on in the game. So he gets the Volt Switch off, gets a crit. The crit didn't really matter, but Medi comes in here, and I'm just like, alright, this is bad. So I'm going to protect and see what he does. I mean, I know he's going to go for HJK, but I just want to get chip on him anyway. So he does go for the HJK, because who wouldn't click HJK here? It's very free, and look at my team. So, there was no way I was going to let him, you know, kick my Ferrothorn until right now. So I let him knock out my Ferrothorn because I didn't really need that at this point. Because it already got what I needed up. I needed the rocks up at this point. So now I'm going to go for the U-turn as he goes into Torn. So he does do that. I get the chip from the Rocky Helmet though. And now I can bring my Gren. And Gren is looking pretty offensive against him. But I decided to go for Spice because I know he's going to go on the Tangrowth. So I do get a little spike going right there. And I do believe I go into Heatran. No, actually, I went Heracross. Actually, I want to talk about this play, because on this play, I was really debating on going either Heracross or even going Heatran. Now Heracross was obviously the best play because it literally threatens his whole team. Like, he has no switch-in, rocks are up as well. Like, this is dangerous territory for my opponent. So, on the switch-in, I do believe I go for CC, or I switch here. I don't remember exactly. I think I might have went for CC, on the switch-in. So, he goes Torn. I think I went for CC here, or I switched. Yeah, I did switch. Never mind. I was really debating on. I was just like, man, it would be such a fire play if I went for the Rock Blast there, because knowing he was going to switch out, because he had to switch. There was no reason, like, he had to switch there, because if he didn't switch, then Heracross would have just ran through him. Now, literally, all I had to do was just go for that, but I just couldn't make that play. I wanted to go for T-Wave and just get something paralyzed. So that's what I do right here, and I end up just wasting all those hazards right there. But don't be like me and not take advantage of that switching. I should have taken advantage of that switching and go for the Rock Blast, because it was such an obvious play. But still, the T-Wave on the Heatran is actually going to matter here, as unfortunately it gets paralyzed. I'm pretty sure he tried to go for rocks, or he tried to go for the Magma Storm, expecting my Heracross to come in, because he's been making really good predictions so far. But now my Heracross is in here. He goes for the Volt Switch, and that is going to break. I do believe that I go for the CC. Not yet. I don't go for the Rock Blast yet, but I do go for it. Don't get it twisted. I still go for it, but just not here. I go Heatran now as he goes for the U-turn. So now you can bring in Medi again. So actually, no, he goes T-Tar here. So on the T-Tar, I do believe that I go for the sub to scout for whatever you go for, as he actually goes for the Stone Age and misses. So that miss is pretty unfortunate for my opponent. He brings in the Rotom, as I actually go for the Earth Power. Again, expecting to maybe go for it again or something else, but going Rotom there was definitely the right play on his part. He goes to the pump and misses. I actually go for my Z move right here because I really want to chip down this Rotom. Z was pretty much the best play I could have made here because 1, is guaranteed damage, and 2, he's even more weakened to to the point where he could just drop. So he goes for the Volt Switch. He does break it. I go for sub again right here. Yes, sir. I go for the sub again. Now he's going to play mind games with me and also try and keep his Rotom alive. I go for the Earth Power again. Unfortunately, he does catch me on that. And he goes for the Volt right there. He doesn't break that time. I was very confused by that. He does expect me to go for the Magma Storm, but I do go for it. So, again, I should have just played off his switches, like knowing that there was no way he was going to sack this. Because it seemed like, because the way he's been playing his Rotom throughout this whole game, it seemed like there was something interesting about that Rotom. Because it didn't show lefties, it didn't show Choice Scarf, it was switching a move. So there's only one option in Gen 7. He has to be a Z move. So, literally, I just kind of like got into the loop and just wasn't able to, take care of the Rotom like I should have. But I'm gonna go for the Earth Power as he does bring in Torn, and now he goes for the U-turn. He does break my Sash now, or break my my sub now. I go for Toxic, think he's staying or do something else, but he goes Rotom again. I go for the Earth Power. So yeah, this man is just catching me on everything. But I'm pretty much gonna be forced to sack my U-turn here. So actually, no, I don't. I'm kidding. He goes for the Z move right now, and I thought it was Wardium Z. Turns out this dude was Gigavolt Havoc, and I was just like, yo, did I just make the best read of the game? I don't know if I did, but I go for Stone Edge here as he goes for U-turn. So now I'm definitely in the better position at this point. So right here, I'm gonna sack the Heat Train now, and guess what's about to come in? Guess who's coming in? That's right. That's right, it's that boy, Mega Hera. I go for the sub right here. Actually, I'm kidding, I do. Then I go for the Rock Blast. Unfortunately, he misses the Hurricane. So, my opponent really just didn't get off the moves he needed to land, though. Again, had he got off the Stone Edge earlier, then I wouldn't be in this position right now. But it still would have been close, though, I feel. I go for the SD on sub, with my sub up, as he brings in the Heatran. And I go for the CC. I'm able to knock out his T-Tar. So T-Tar drops. And he's pretty much going to sack all of his walls at this point, since he can't really do much at this point. So, he goes Tangrowth, expecting me to go for the CC. I do go for it, because why would I not CC? So, that boy's going to get, like, 3 kills, which is amazing. Honestly, Mega Heracross is such a great mon. I miss it so much. Because it's not in Gen 8 right now. But Midi comes in here and goes for the fake out. I'm okay with this. I go for the U-turn, knowing that he's going to switch to Tangrowth anyway, because there was no way he was going to take an Earthquake. I was debating on Quaking here too, but U-turn was definitely the best play here. And now I can go to Clef. I can T-Wave the Tangrowth now, and he can't really do much at this point. So I just Moonblast him down, and I don't really have to do much, because once he's going to be in range of U-turn anyway after this. But yeah, Moonblast is still doing a decent chunk of that Tangrowth anyway. So maybe his Tangrowth wasn't that fully invested into special defense. But yeah, Moonblast is doing a lot. That is so much damage right there. And he can't really do much with it. He's going to try and, knock me. Well, I mean, he knocked me off already to get rid of my lefties, but he can't do much besides just recover. And he's not getting that much back from it. And now he sacks Medi, and that's going to be the game. That's I go for Moonblast on the Medi. And Tangrowth comes in here. I keep Moonblasting until he kills me. Which I do think he does here. Actually, I get the special attack drop, so I don't think he does it yet, but I think I just switched here too. I might have switched, but I'm not too sure. Pretty sure I just went for it until he killed me, as he'll be in range of U-turn anyway after this point. So yeah. So the Giga is not going to kill, or it's going to kill my Clef, but U-turn is going to kill the Tangrowth, and that is going to be my game 2 match. So again, very aggressive, very good game here. Despite all the misses though. Like he missed Hydro Pump, he missed Edge, he missed Cane, and he got paralyzed. And he also got missed HJK. Or I mean he HJK'd on Protect. So yeah, he was getting kind of screwed over, I'm not gonna lie. But still, it was a pretty good game though, despite the hacks. So now I'll move on to my round 3 game. So my round 3 game was a pretty intense game. Definitely came down to the wire, I'd say. So without further ado, let me dive into round 3. Alright, so this is my round 3 game against another tournament player known as Mello. So this dude is running a pretty cool looking team. So I'm running a another team, one of my favorite teams that I've been using for Smogon Tour, that I actually made last year around Mega Manetric with the Substitute. I really thought that Substitute Mega Manetric was a pretty decent mon, just because like you don't have to rely on Volt Switch and just be a pivot mon. You can just sub on stuff and then just kind of wear things down to the point where, again, my other cleaners can, just kind of do what they need to do. So that's pretty much the idea behind my sub Mega Manetric set. But again, I really do like this set. This set is so far, in my opinion. But against this team, it's actually pretty decent, I'd say. Again, it just all comes down to if I can get the right sub on the right mon, and then just continue to punish them. But yeah, my opponent though, he plays pretty well against it. So you're gonna see. So turn 1, he leads with Kirim as I lead with Ferrothorn. So the Kirim lead makes sense because, again, against my team, Kirim is a pretty big threat. Again, Beam is very free here. That's why I pretty much love with Ferrothorn. I expect him to lead with that, or maybe even lead Magirna. But again, he did lead with the Kirim, so I'm just pretty much free to go for rocks, as he's gonna switch out and go on Charizard. So good plan his part for going for the Charizard, expecting rocks. I go Keldeo as he goes for this Defog. So the fact he chose Defog told me a lot right there. It told me that one, he's definitely running Roost on that set, and two, he's not running much coverage, and three, he might be Charizard Y, because usually Charizard Y runs the Defog set. You don't really see Charizard X run Defog, and this team doesn't look like a Charizard X team anyway. So he's gonna Defog there as he goes into Pex on my Surf. So Surf doesn't do that much because, again, that's just what Pex does. He just eats Surf. So he brings in he goes for T-Spikes as I go for Rocks. I bring in Hydreigon right here as he goes for the Defog again. And this time he switches, expecting me to be a Choice Scarf, but I go for the Flamethrower on his Magirna switching. Now I knew Flamethrower was the right play here because, again, the way that well, one, Surf actually did a lot to that Pex, so that told me that his Pex might not be very def invested. So I knew that Flamethrower was the right play to make here, because who else would he have to switch in? Again, he could have went Pex there very easily, but I guess maybe he expected me to go for a DP or maybe Draco there. So I guess that was a cautious plan on his part. But I go for the DP, expecting to switch out, knowing that Flamethrower did 50. So I don't know why he stayed in like that. I think that was a pretty crazy play on his part. Like, Flamethrower did half, so and it seems like his Magirna was more like not defensive. But it definitely has more utility options since he's running Pain Split. So yeah, I bring in Ferrothorn here as he goes for the Flare Cannon on my switch in. So he does do that. I go for Rocks again as he brings in the actually, I go for the Gyro Ball, expecting the Charizard to come back in. So kind of a waste of a Gyro Ball there, because it's kind of going to be important for the Kirim. So I switch out and bring in my Keldeo to scare him out. I go Manetric, expecting him to go into Tom Specs, which he does go for right there. Brings in the Kirim as I go for the T-Bolt. So this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. But yeah, T-Bolt there. Again, this Kirim is kind of a big problem because it's actually a sub-Roost Kirim. So sub-Roost Kirim is very known to just, or very known throughout Gen 7 to just be, a very bulky mon and just kind of like pressure stall you, and also recover with sub as well, or recover under sub. So it just has, like really good coverage in Ice Beam and Earth Power. So it can just kind of just run through some stuff pretty nicely in the tier. But I get up my Rocks, and pretty much I know that he has Defog on this, and he's gonna reveal soon that he's running another Defogger. But I go for the Gyro Ball and break his sub right there, as he's gonna sub again, stalling out my Gyro Balls. I only got like 3 more left after this. But he goes for it again, as I should go for the Spike this time, and I believe that he goes for sub. Goes for the Roost again as I go for the Gyro Ball, and I do break his sub. Then he goes for it again, and this time I go for another Spike. And what I do right here is I go Keldeo right now, as he goes for the Beam not doing that much, but he's just gonna break my or I'm gonna break the sub right here, and he goes for the Earth Power. Earth Power doesn't to my Keldeo, and now I go into main. I go into main right here as he brings in Lando, and he's gonna reveal that one, he's choice scarf, which is obvious, and two, he's actually default, which means that all that effort to get up those hazards kind of messed me up. So he brings in the pecs. Now I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background knowledge on my Lando set. I'm actually choice banned on this. Now, if I was crazy, and I mean like really crazy, I could have quaked here. Like Quake would have been a better play here, looking at it on the default, because I don't think he would have risked going Charizard on Stone Edge. So if I quaked the pecs, things would have been a lot more open. But you saw how much Stone Edge did though. If Stone Edge did 42, Quake would have killed that. But anyways, I bring in Ferrothorn here, as he's not gonna burn me yet. But I go for rocks again as the Charizard comes back in, and I'm just like, alright, this is starting to get annoying. I have only one more Gyro Ball left, so I go for it anyway, which is kind of a misplay because, again, he already revealed the roost, so I kind of have to just, let somebody take a flamethrower to the dome. And it's going to be Hydreigon. So, Hydreigon is going to take it. He sees that I'm lefty, so he doesn't want to stand here. Or, I mean, he's going to roost anyway on my DP, or whatever. But, he brings in Lando as I go for T-Ball right here. So, I'm really curious. Well, I mean, it makes sense why he did that thing. Again, expecting to go for it, so he wanted to go into his immunity. But yeah, I go into Ferrothorn again as he goes for the U-turn. So I get a little bit of chip on him with the default or with the ability Iron Barbs. Brings in Charizard again. I go Keldeo as he goes with the flamethrower, and I couldn't force to sack it. Had to sack it there because I had no other play. I mean, if I sacked Ferrothorn, maybe I could have had a little bit more going for me, but I really wanted rocks because this team is just so rock proof. Like, if I had gotten if I had kept up rocks here, then a lot of things would have got chipped, and I really would have needed that for my main and also for my Magearna. But he's gonna go Kyurem again as I go for the T-Bolt. Actually, I went for HPS, expecting to go Lando again, but he's gonna catch me on that, and now he's gonna roost here. Also, my Ferrothorn set doesn't have Leech Seed, so I can't really wear down the Charizard like I really want to. But the rocks are back up, and this time I just sacked the Ferrothorn at this point because I don't need it now, as I am able to get the rocks up on the switch in. And now he's gonna go into Reuniclus as I go for the T-Bolt. Actually, I go Flamethrower, and then I go T-Bolt afterwards. And actually, I go for the sub, expecting the switch, but he just recovers out of it. So I'm just like, okay. I think I should have been more aggressive and just went for it anyway. But he's gonna Calm Mind on me, and I'm just like, it's time to switch out and go into Hydreigon since you're running that set, which means you might not have fighting coverage, which means Hydreigon can kind of just blow through it a little bit. So now he goes Mag and sacks its DP after Flamethrower. So Flamethrower's gonna knock out the Magearna now, and now he's forced to go into something faster, which I think he goes into the Lando now. So he brings in Lando, and he's gonna defog again. I'm just like, man, this is tragic. So tragic. But yeah, he does defog here. And pretty much my only play is just a T-Bolt as he goes into Kyurem anyway. So I'm trying to get a para at this point. Again, a para would have been very nice here. That way I would have a little bit more leeway with my Magearna. But yeah, he's going to just roost off that Flamethrower damage, not doing that much. And I'm going to have to go Lando. And this is the play here that I think matters the most. I think this play right here might have been the most important play. Turn 48. This play right here was the most important because he sees me go Lando for the first time, or for the second time actually. And I'm pretty sure he's debating on what kind of Lando I am. But I'm pretty sure that based off the damage, he assumes that I'm Bandit at this point. So he is gonna go right into. Well, I mean, he's gonna go Earth Power my switch in, but he brings in Lando, and I made the craziest play possible. I go for the explosion. Now, exploding on that Lando might have been a misplay because because again, I was looking at the calc, and Stone Edge after -1 from Bandit Lando only does around 39% mid. So if I just Stone Edge right there, he would have been forced to either 1 go Reuniclus or 2 go Pex. So regardless, I don't think exploding there was the play. I actually was trying to save my explosion for the Reuniclus because if I boomed on Reun, then I would have won I probably could have won with Magearna. Or I would have had a little bit more leeway with Magearna since this is like a calm minding set without any like coverage. So again, exploding there was probably not the best play. I definitely should have saved it. But yeah, we're down Landos, so his Scarfer's gone, which means that his fastest mon's out the way. But now I have to play a game where I have to try and flinch the Kyurem and just put it into a position where maybe I can win with Hydreigon and Manectric and potentially Magearna. So Pex is in here now. I go main as he's going to switch out here. Oh, actually, no, he recovers. So now I go for the T-Bolt because I know it's going to do a lot. Does a good chunk, doing 66%. He scalds me, no burn. But now he goes in the Ryu, and I'm just like, all right, time to T-Bolt this. I do 49. Now, when I was looking, the 49 roll doesn't really matter too much, but the fact he did 49 meant that he might have been like lower in HP. Maybe he has like a little bit more defensive bulk on his Reuniclus, but that 49 roll is very intriguing to me because usually it does around like 41 to 48%. I know it's not that much of a difference, but it's something that I really did catch right there. So maybe he maybe he has like a little less HP investment, but that doesn't really matter too much. He's gonna recover on the T-Bolt, and now he is going to go into Pex again as I go for the DP. So I DP here, trying to whittle down this Pex as much as possible. He's going to try and recover, but unfortunately he gets paralyzed, and that's going to be a dead Pex. So Pex is going to drop here, and now it's just 3v3. So a lot of things can go anyway at this point. Now he brings in the Kyurem as I go for my DP. So DP does a lot. He does go for the beam right there. Now, I knew beam was the play. I knew he was going to do it. It was obvious. But if I went Magearna, then it would have been a more annoying, like, it probably would have been like a little worse because he would have had to bring Charizard on that play, or he could have Earth Power, but I don't think Earth Power was the play, was necessarily the play for him. Like he definitely had a couple more options. Again, I was really expecting him to either play aggressive and go for the Earth Power, predicting my mag or whatever. But more or less, I was trying to flinch trying to get a flinch on him. But yeah, losing my Hydreigon there was really bad because again, the Reuniclus can start setting up on me and kind of mess me up. So yeah, that was definitely another bad play I made right there. And I can't even kill the Kyurem because this Kyurem is just very fat. So Earth Power's gonna knock out my main, and yeah, I can go mag here, but Earth Power's gonna do way too much. The only thing I can do is just shift gear up and try and Calm Mind, and maybe try and get a potential freeze on the Reuniclus. That's the only thing I have going for me. So I'm able to knock out the Kyurem finally, but at this point, it's kind of futile because this Reuniclus is here, and it's just gonna do what it does best. So I have to Calm Mind and hope that I can knock out his Reuniclus, or at least get a freeze or something. But yeah, he's gonna be at +2, and he can just keep recovering. I have to keep Calm Minding. We just pretty much just Calm Mind on each other until we have to get some kind of like hacks going. So I'm trying to get some hacks. I don't get it. I don't get the freeze. So I have to keep Calm Minding up. But he has the Side Shock, which does a lot more to my mag, since my mag isn't like defensive at all. So Beam is gonna do 33, but Side Shock will knock me out, seeing as how the roll was 37 earlier, so it was guaranteed to knock me out, and that's gonna be the game. So yeah, that's gonna be that. Again, I definitely made some very odd plays. Again, booming on Lando was probably the worst play of this game, in my opinion. I think I played everything else pretty well, but if I just saved boom for later, again, saving it on the Reun would have been very, very good for me. Booming on Lando was literally the worst play there, because again, Stone Edge only did like 39 mid, so I would have got a decent roll there, and he would have been forced to either Stone Edge me again, or he would have just U-turned. And if he U-turned, then it would have been then again, a lot of things could have happened here. Again, had I not boomed there. So yeah. That's gonna be that though. That's gonna be that. And again, I could have kept my Lando around too, and I could have saved it to keep quaking through him too. But again, it was a tough game. It really was. This might have been the toughest game I've played so far in this tour. So yeah, I'll give him credit though. It was a good game. It was a very good game. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, make sure you guys have a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also, follow me on my Pokemino, and check out my Smogon profile. All those links will be down in the description on this. I'm going to try and, well, actually, by the time you guys see this one, you guys might see this game, or see these games on Monday. You guys will probably see round 2 on Wednesday, maybe, or you'll probably see both of them on Monday, depending on how how tomorrow goes when I play for day 2. But yeah, I think I'm done talking. If you guys enjoyed, again, make sure you guys have a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Trying to reach 150 subs. Once I reach 150 subs, I will do a rap vid of a Pokemon of your choosing. So, hopefully you guys enjoy my breakdown of this game. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.